Well, this previous recording that I've just done is very long, and it's motivated, I might point out, by the fact that I woke in the middle of the night, something like an hour ago, and it's now 4:40 in the morning, so, and I churned out that recording. In fact, I think it may have been more like nearer 2 hours ago, because if I've done a 50-minute recording, given the pauses I make in it, it's probably taken me the best part of twice that time. But my way of drawing near to God is to, quite honestly, produce a recording. Because I think it's because I'm, in a sense, calling on God to rescue me. I have a need, something, and something occurs to me that's relevant to that need. And if I get it down in recording, other things occur to me, and before I know it, I'm benefiting from the comfort of God. Because in some sense my mind is being drawn to the presence of God, the awareness of God, thoughts of Him that guide us. Along that transform my psyche, my mindset shifts from the preoccupation with life's demands and fears that don't need to be there with the right mindset. That's understood to be associated with the right outcome. So in a sense you could say you've talked yourself, Marshall, into a mindset that has a solution to your problem. Your problem was the uncertainty. You don't know what's best to do. Do I act or do I not act in a certain way? And you've reminded yourself, in effect, or you've taken a line of thought and action, in my case recording, a new recording, related to solving the situation, and you've in effect reminded yourself that your solution is God, your God, one that you see as all loving and all able, all powerful. And that takes the whole pressure out of I must make the right decision. And now the decision is not that I don't therefore do anything or not do anything. It means that I now consider the decision entirely in terms of this God. Who is well able to rescue me whether I make the wrong or right decision. And now I can, in peace of mind, think of what the right decision is and choose it. Because even if I'm wrong, I know in my heart you come to my rescue. And it's not tolerable to believe anything else. That He won't come to my rescue, say, or that He's not able or not loving. or whatever is an intolerable disaster because there's no solution to that. You're in a universe on your own against forces that are at random. I mean, you can't live happily knowing that. So I choose to live happily. I choose to trust in God, my God. Well, that's exactly what, isn't it? What Jason or my friend who's a Buddhist is also doing. They're most earnestly trusting in what they see to be the answer and valid. It's just that me looking at them, I don't see love and happiness and the things that I value, not just for myself, but for them. So from my perspective, I think, oh my goodness, they're wrong. And they put their trust in something that's not going to bring them the happiness and joy that I trust, that I choose to trust. My view of God will bring me. So I want them to have my view of God. And you, I might point out, I want you to have my view of God. And you might be thinking at the minute, thank goodness I don't have Marshall's view of God. I'm much happier with the one I've got. And if that is so, well, that is fine. From my point of view, you see, because I'm believing that that will lead you in the most efficient way to finding your true happiness and fulfillment and life eternal. So it's not that I feel you're alien to me because you think differently. And that's why I say, well, I do belong to, and have belonged anyway, not necessarily much now, all these different groups and relate to all these different people. Because I value, oh God, I value their happiness, their way of coming, and trust with all my heart that my God has it all in control, bringing them through perhaps a different path to me, perhaps a similar path to me in some ways. After all, I've come from being a secular humanist to being whatever you think I am now, you know. And that God will bring them too. And you know, that God will bring you just as much if you're utterly repelled by my view of things. But in some sense, earnestly follow what you believe and you think is best and right. I have a great desire to trust that you must therefore come through in the end. Not even really because of your sincerity, but because God will overrule the mistakes you may be making, and that's what this universe is about. Teaching us and guiding us and bringing us to graduation, to life eternal, all goodness and all blessing, whatever that is. And I have no desire to believe anything other than that. Isn't that strange? I know in my heart, being a logician, that, not a magician, right, a logician. Perhaps you see the two as similar, I don't know. I know in my heart that the argument may be circular. But I suppose I'm not deterred because of that. Because arguments can always be wrong or right. You usually think you are right until you change it. Think you're wrong and then you want to change to some other argument. But the one you hold, you feel is the most likely to be right at the minute. As far as you can see. I'm tired. I'm going to turn over and go to sleep. I think. I don't know. Bless you. Thank you, Heavenly Dad. Well, as usual, Marshall's very pleased with himself. This is a good few hours later. It's, what's it, 9:15, and I've dropped one of my housemates off at the hospital, and I was sort of waiting until she wants a lift back again. And so I thought I'd just listen to this recording rather. Wow. Yeah, and incidentally, I am much the happier now because I did act in the morning. I sent a very non-inflammatory text in reply to some ultimatum that my ex was presenting me with. And I just feel happier about it now. I'm just fine. Do you see we have it? Within our grasp. It's at hand. We remind ourselves of what we truly value. A loving God that loves us. I'll accept no other. How could I? I'd be mad to, wouldn't I? And if this is who God is, and I think it could be, how wonderful that I behaved accordingly, that I trusted that he was. And supposing God doesn't exist, when you're dead, nothing, blank, gone, vanished, history, not even history, lost and forgotten. What have I lost? Nothing at all. It's made my life so much nicer, so much more joyful and blessed, like I feel now again, sitting in the sunshine. Actually, I'm semi-sunbathing. And how lovely. And if he is as I hope, and he's probably far, far better than I could hope, how pleased I will be that I didn't wreck my life thinking of him otherwise. Thank you, Dad. Love you. Thank you, Dad. A quick resume. You are able to determine your frame of mind, your disposition. You can cool it. You simply turn to what gives you the best environment and outcome, which might be reading scripture, it might be singing a song, it might be walking in the country, it might be seeing a good friend who always lifts your spirits. It might be recording, it might be listening to recordings. Whatever, make sure it's good. If it's negative, get off it, get onto something that lifts. In other words, steer your disposition. Take the reins. You don't have the drive to do this. You're bogged down with the situation, but you do want out, don't you? You do want it to be better. Right, well, set up the situation so that you can hear God. Set up the situation so you can be lifted. Choose good company. Good music perhaps playing in the background, not mournful, something lifting. Even distraction, I mean, it's a totally secular program, can distract your mind and you come back afresh, but possibly not manage to solve your, whatever the conundrum difficulty was. So ideally, choose that which is going to lift you, normally does, as soon as you can. Common sense really, isn't it? It's not out there, you see. The kingdom of heaven's at hand. It's within reach. In fact, it's within you. If you're of a Jesus story bent, then you know that he dwells in you. How utterly wonderful. How can I now relate to him? Well, how do you normally relate well with him? Is it reading scripture? Is it reading in your diary the things that you've been thankful for in the past? Scan down your list of miracles. If you haven't got one, good. Make it up now. Put down 10 of your miracles in your life. You realize how God is loving and caring for you. You have no worries. I tell you, there are no valid worries. Look how you've been provided for. Did you make these miracles? Did you start with nothing? Yes. What have you had now? 10 years of life. Wow. You could have not had that. You could have stayed blank. Do you see? You will quite rationally lift from your negative state of mind to a positive one of blessing. It works, I tell you. Taste and see. Bless you, and you are blessed. And of course it helps greatly if you cultivate a practice of being positive in this way. Whatsoever's good and lovely, remember, think on these things. Yeah? Thank God for them. Your gratitude will indeed rescue you. You'll be filled with hope and joy and peace and life. And you'll be sensitive to God's leading because you'll be in the right frame of mind to receive it. Bless you.